All right, we're going to go on and get started. And to everyone, I want to wish a good and happy evening and warm and safe surroundings, and saying welcome to the Mayor and the Town Council meeting for the town of Fairmount Heights. Today is January 19th, the year 2022. And at this time, I call this meeting to order. This is a meeting for the Mayor and the Town Council, the citizens and staff of the town of Fairmount Heights. I would like to begin by offering a moment of silence in honor of all those who've lost their lives to COVID, and to all of our families who are dealing with the different circumstances that surround it, and just overall living conditions. We're surviving, and we thank the Lord for that. Can we offer a moment of silence? Thank you all very much for that moment. We have our roll call, which is next. Mrs. Walker, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Martin,
Present.
Councilmember Morgan, Councilmember Waiters,
Present.
Councilmember Morris,
Present.
Councilmember Akindu Uwaka, Councilmember Wood Dotson. I'll mute my line back out, Mayor Martin.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Walker.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that was someone that just came on. I heard someone coming on the line, but I know that Councilmember Morgan and Wood Dotson, and Akindu Uwaka are on the same line, so they should be appearing up soon because I talked with them earlier.
They both are on the line, Madam Mayor.
Oh, great. So, all right. So, Ms. Walker,
I don't know whether they can hear, but they're you can see them.
You can see them.
Yes.
Could you please mark them present, Ms. Walker?
Yes, I'll mark them present.
All right. And so I think Councilmember Wood Dotson is the only one that's absent. And I think she left a message with Ms. Tucker. I don't know whether it was for the earlier meeting or for this meeting, where she wouldn't be able to attend. So I haven't talked with her personally. Okay, we're going to proceed on down. I'm going to begin at the beginning of our meeting tonight. I would like to start off with our police department report. Lieutenant Ivy, are you online?
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, dokie. Good afternoon, everyone. For December 2021, the monthly report, the Fairmount Heights Police Department totaled 242 calls for service for the month of December 2021, with a difference of 235 calls for service for November 2021. Excuse me. We had an incident that involved a citizen armed robbery that took place at the Sheriff Road carryout. This was a quite unusual incident due to the fact that the victim was making a food delivery at the Sheriff Road carryout and was approached by a suspect who brandished a handgun demanding, "Give me what you got." The suspect stole the victim's items and then fled the scene in his own personal vehicle. Another incident occurred of an assault report at Paul's liquor store involving two customers who frequent the establishment. The suspect attacked the victim in the store, then dragged him outside and continues further assaulting him. Officers did arrive on scene, and they did make sure that medical attention was provided by ambulance 838 to treat the victim's injuries. However, the victim's injuries, he was not transported to the hospital. They were non-life-threatening injuries. He was transported to the hospital. The other incident involved an armed carjacking in the area of the Ebony Inn restaurant, where the victim was approached by a suspect who displayed a handgun and demanded the victim exit his vehicle. Fearing for his life, the victim exited the vehicle while the suspect fled the scene in the direction of Sheriff Road and Martin Luther King Jr. Highway. Later, we had a domestic violence report involving a verbal altercation that turned physical with non-life-threatening injuries concerning in the home of those spouses that took place. Concerning the updates, the Fairmount Heights Police Department partnership with the State's Attorney's Office, Carjacking Task Force, along with updates and schedules and detailed arrangements to move forward. The Prince George's County Police Department's carjacking task force unit assisting municipal agencies. The Health Department's vaccination clinic of Prince George's County is looking forward to partner with the Fairmount Heights Police Department for the year of 2022 as well. Also, the Fairmount Heights Police Department's continued collaboration on case investigations with local law enforcement and state prosecuting agencies within the local area. Concerning the patrols and still the patrol assistance from the Prince George's County Police Department and along with assistance from the Sea Pleasant Police Department. And that would conclude my report tonight for December 2021.
All right. Thank you very much, Lieutenant.
Mhm.
Were there any questions from the council members for Lieutenant Ivy? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lieutenant.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to continue on down to our code enforcement report. Is Mr. Pinckney online tonight? Anyone see Mr. Pinckney online? I have his report here in front of me and I can read it into the record. If no one else has a copy of his report, I'll read this into the record. And it's the monthly report for December 15th, 2021 through January 11th, 2022. This is a summary. During this period, we have issued 6 civil citations totaling $6,000. A is rental license required, that would be 4. B is vacant building registration, which was 2. During this period, we have sent out 8 letters to property owners for expired rental licenses. Those addresses are 915 57th Place, 5524 Addison Road, 5700 L Street, 5611 Colb Street, 6106 J Street, 509 Eastern Avenue, 1018 58th Avenue, 809 58th Avenue, and 1001 58th Avenue. During this period, I have issued 1 rental license, which is at 951 Eastern Avenue. During this period, I have issued a notice of violation and corrective action notice to the following: 713 62nd Avenue for inoperative, disabled, unregistered, or abandoned vehicles, trash, and debris on the lot. During this period, I have issued businesses license for the following: Little Teddy Bear Daycare, totaling $730 for years 2020 and 2021. During this period, I have issued building permits for the following: 6105 L Street for a fence, $131. 729 60th Place repairs, $223.25. 604 62nd Avenue erect, $1,577. And 5709 K Street repairs, $160. That concludes the code enforcement report. I'm going to continue on down to the treasurer's report. Mrs. Walker? Mrs.
Yes,
Walker?
thank
Oh,
you. Yes,
yes.
I'm here.
Uh-huh.
I had to pull over. Sorry.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm reporting through the end of December, and as of December 31st, 2021, we were 50% into fiscal year 2022. And at 50% of the year, we have actually received 63% of our projected income. So in general revenue, internal government transfers, other revenue, and police department, of those 4 departments, we have received 70% of what we projected we would receive in general revenue. We also have received 54% in intergovernment transfers. And then the other 2 departments, we're slightly under what we have projected we would receive at this time. Expenses, we have kept our expenses below our projections. So we are at 40% of our expenses. And for all of the departments, except for administration, we are under 50% of our spending for at 50% of the year. So overall, that may be a little confusing how I did it, but overall, we're continuing to operate in a manner that allows us to exceed our projected income and be able to meet our expenses. We do have a few areas with income that we knew we would be getting that income during the spring versus during the fall. So those areas, we should see increases as the year continues to move forward. A few updates: the World War II Monument Grant. We did receive the approval from the grantor, and so we did submit the required documentation to move forward with the RFP. And so we're waiting to hear back from them on the draft that we submitted. Mayor Martin, are you going to report on the COVID test during your report?
Yes, I
Okay.
will.
Okay, so I won't report on that.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So from our workers' comp insurance, we received a $9,000 refund, and that's because our actual expenses were below what the premium said we would have to spend. So we received a $9,000 refund from that. I did submit a form to Mr. Harris for the election board members to be able to submit their hours. And so once those hours come in, we'll be able to pay them for the time that they have served. We're going to do an additional training, which won't cost us anything for SureScan, just because the services are not being utilized to the fullest. We want to take full advantage of that. So we do have an upcoming training schedule, but again, that will not cost us anything. We received notification from our phone vendor, Mitel, that the voice over IP system may need to be updated. However, as of today, actually, we did confirm we won't have to do any updates because we're not using the feature which would have affected the dynamic 911 calls. And basically, if you're making a phone call from a voice over IP system, you have to be able to, the 911 operator has to be able to know where you're calling from. But because we're not using the remote service, our system is still registered to the town. If we begin to use the remote service, then we will have to make some adjustments to how we're using that service. Additionally, the shed, the two vendors that did respond and say they have available sheds. I've asked both vendors to come out and take a look at the site to ensure that their particular sheds can fit on the site. And so I did give them Mr. Hill's phone number to ask them to make sure that they speak with him to be certain that the location I told them is the location where the shed would be placed. I made no commitment, Mayor Martin, but I did speak with Bourne Environmental. I did share your contact information because they would be a resource for addressing the water problem that we're having in town. And so I made no commitment for them to be able to attend a meeting, but did ask them to reach out and to see if they could schedule a time to speak with us about that. We have not received the required number of responses for the RFP for the speed humps or for the tree removal. However, vendors do still have time to submit their proposals for that. The alley cleaning as well, we haven't received actually any responses for the alley cleaning, but the tree removal and the speed humps, we have at least received interest from vendors for those two projects. And those are the main things I wanted to update at this time. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Mrs.
You're
Walker.
welcome. You're
Yes.
welcome.
Yes. All right. All right. Are there any questions for Mrs. Walker from council members? Okay. All right.
I'm going to
Appreciate.
mute my line back out and take my camera back off because I'm in the car.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
you so
Thank
much.
you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
We're going to continue on down to our town manager's report. Ms. Sarumi, are you on the line?
Yes,
All right.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm under the name of Alexis Claro. I now share my gadget with my grandson, the chef. So
Yeah.
Just bear with it. Good afternoon and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
We often we get so bogged down with everything that's going wrong. We get bogged down with our sorrow, but blessed is those who mourn. And so we're going to come out of this to going into 2022 with a bang. I want to again remind the mayor and council and mayor and I talked about this today, that we really need to move forward with contacting Verizon to see where we are with Cielo Ferguson and renegotiating the franchise agreement. That we received funding from Verizon and from Comcast. And of course, those funds are used to fund such things as this event that we are doing. And also it is used to fund our local channel 11. Updated information on the website. I constantly ask citizens and the council for updated information. But what I did place on the website is 2 job announcements. One, we had 1 job announcement posted on the website as of December 10, 2021 for a Public Works Department laborer a maintenance position. It is open until filled. You know, this is an employee market, not employer. So we're not getting a lot of hits and a lot of responses. I think we did receive 1 or 2 applications. The town is seeking a candidate for the position of chief of police. I did have attached to my report that job announcement. The announcement is posted on the public channel 11, Prince George's County website, and MML and others. I partnered with Mrs. Tucker, our clerk, to get the posting done, and I thank you, Ms. Tucker, for that. Also a reminder, the treasurer and I will be working to update and revise the FHA, Fairmount Heights personnel policy, hopefully beginning of February. And as all of you know, personnel matters and requirements change at such a rapid pace because of COVID and because of all the health issues that the country has faced. So it's important that you have policies in place, especially leave, what happened, who pays for medical expenses. We really need to update that policy. Public Works, snow removal efforts by the Public Works staff. I wish to applaud the removal efforts and their dedication by an understaffed department. The staff was deployed out on late Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. The plow was attached to the truck, and Mayor Martin directed the staff to pick up salt and sand from the county. The staff worked nonstop through January 4th, 2022. We are asking, and I'm putting this in all caps, we are asking all citizens, if you live along a snow emergency route, please remove our vehicle. Please remove your vehicle at the time of the onset of the storm. I'm trying as quickly and diligently as possible to work with Mr. Gray and myself to get updated information as the storm passes over. Sometimes that may not be possible, but we're trying to make certain that if you're not sure of what's going on locally, you should be able to get it from the website and from Channel 11. Also, in terms of Public Works, I've asked Lieutenant Ivy and the Public Works staff, and when I'm there at night late, we need to do a survey to find out, to survey all lights that are out in the town. That becomes really a safety issue. The identification number of all Pepco lights are certainly on the post. The survey must include the street location and the pole number posted. And I will be the person responsible for contacting Pepco for the corrective action. So if anyone, any citizen, council member, or anyone notice a street light out, please contact me or Lieutenant Ivy so we can keep Pepco updated. Also, moving rapidly into the year 2022, the mayor and council, you are to be applauded for all the good things that you're doing, and we really need to be able to talk about the good things that's going on. Pepco presented a revised charging site proposal for the charging station, which is proposing 2 parking spaces, 1 green charging station, and 1 blue meter cabinet. We're going to have our own charging station within the town, and most manufacturing of vehicles are moving at such a rapid pace. With the manufacturing of most new cars will be a hybrid, or they will be electric vehicles. So we need to gear up and be ready to move into 2022. I heard Ms. Walker talk about the water problem. For months now, I've been working with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. They did fund in 2021 building resilient infrastructure communities. And BRIC will support state, local communities, tribes, and territories as they look at hazard mitigation projects. And one of the big problems that we have in our town is water, and with the rising water tables. If you find that not to be true, just drive up and down some of the streets, especially on 62nd Avenue, where you constantly see the water running down the street. And during the freeze over, of course, it became sheet of ice. I do monitor the water situation though at the townhouses, because for the last 2 or 3 years, we've had a buildup of about at least 5 inches of ice. It's not as severe as it used to be, but we still have the buildup of ice going on at the townhouses. So I'll be working with the county and with the engineers to monitor that problem to see what it is that we can do to divert the water and the runoff from those townhouses. Economic and community development. So I'm going to move forward to talk about our meeting with UCAP. During the month of December, I think it was Councilmember Waiters, Mrs. Capers, and others had the opportunity to meet with, and the Citizens Association had an opportunity to meet with UCAP to hear their discussion about the development of the school, Fairmount Heights Elementary School, which is owned by UCAP, and by Melvin's Crab House. Please note that there has not been any plans submitted to Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. Everything is in the developmental phase. And in the year 2022, you can look forward to hearing and seeing new plans. Again, 2 other sites for economic community development. The update on the net zero housing. This is certainly, I'm excited about this. I had a conference call as late as today with Stephanie Pringle-Postel. She is the Deputy Director for the Housing Initiative Partnership. As you know, the Housing Initiative Partnership is responsible for the development of 60th Place, where they're planning to build 6 net zero housing. In addition to that, they are responsible for 1 additional house at what was called Glover's Garage. So the work has started. So what they started today, as a matter of fact, was hazardous material abatement. And so that's important in terms of the environment to determine if there are any hazardous conditions at the site and to remove those. So that started. So what is to follow the abatement is the demolition. So anybody who's interested in taking pictures or doing a walkthrough or looking at the old garage, it will be demolished, and so will Glover's Garage. If the weather permits, I plan to go out and scavenger the site to see if I can find anything like old tools, old tires, anything that was used in the 50s era that may be worthy of saving for our yet to come museum. So I think that's important that we salvage and save what we can of our historic relics. Mr. Pinckney, I want to thank him for going out today and taking pictures. The Fairmount Heights Community Development Corporation, I think Ms. Kate is on the line. We have not yet received a response as to the grant that was submitted back in September that we did ask for funding for the Fairmount Heights CDC in terms of what they are planning to do to assist the town with economic and community development. Susan already talked, Mr. Walker already talked about the Veterans Memorial. The Maryland milestone or AFTA. And also I need to add to that, the Black mayors. I received an email today and some of the work that's being done by the Black mayors. So there is funding available, and Mr. Gray, I sent it to you today, if we can get it on the website. Through the Black mayors, there is funding available to examine and look at water ways to mitigate and control water runoff at least 5 properties or 5 houses in the town of Fairmount Heights. If you notice that your property is waterlogged, your backyard faced with lots of water, I drive to town every single day. I notice a lot of sidewalks where the water is permeating, coming up through the sidewalk. So those are the houses. If that's happening to your property, please call me so you can apply. Again, this is a grant, it's not a loan. So I'm sure that will help mitigate some of the water problems in some of the houses. The Green Team, finally, the Green Team holds its regular monthly meeting on the 4th Thursday in each month. Due to COVID-19, all of our meetings are virtual. We do Zoom meetings. Our next meeting will be next Thursday, January 27th at 2022 at 6:30 p.m. The meeting will be focused on spring planting, and 2022, April 18th is Earth Day. Earth Day is always on the same day every year, and we're planning some exciting things for Earth Day. The team's goal is to become a sustainable Maryland municipality. Again, I want to do a special thanks to our regular Green Team members, Councilmember Waiters, Councilmember Wood-Dotson, Ms. Daisy Capers, Mac Hill, Lonnie Whitfield, Donnell Tucker, Mr. Warren Eagleston, a citizen, and many other citizens that visit the market each year. I'm sure Councilmember Waiters made mention in her report, we have finalized, I think, our Green Team newsletter that should go out to the end of the week. Many interesting pictures and many interesting things that are going on with the Green Team. And again, a special thanks to our local Prince George's County farm, Miller's Farm, and Swan Farm located in Calvert County. I will say, one of the things that I'm looking at this year is finding additional local farmers in the area to support our farmers market. And so I just think with our publications, what we've been doing and by word of mouth, it has generated a lot of interest among farmers as well. We live in an era where food is at a premium. And one thing I did add to Mayor Martin's speech, her comments in the newsletter, is that we live in a food desert, meaning that we don't have any good places where we can buy fresh food on a regular or daily basis. So that farmers market provided that for a healthy living, a healthy heart, and a healthy walk. So I'm looking forward to anybody who's interested in volunteering for the Green Team. That concludes my report.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rumi. A lot of information there for everyone. And I'm very excited about what will be forthcoming concerning the net zero homes. And, you know, we've talked about them for a few years now because of the pandemic, one thing or another, but we're going to really be able to look at the reality of how they're going to fit on 61st and on Joss Street. And I can just visualize it's going to be grand.
It's going to be
grand. Yes, it will. Yes, so thank you very much, Mr. Sarumi. Are there any questions from the council members for Mr. Rumi? All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sarumi. We're going to move on down to old business. And under old business, we have the first item, which is our ordinance that we did our public hearing on this ordinance in our last town meeting. And tonight, I would like to propose for us to review this and listen to it as it's read into the record again. And I would like to get a vote on this before we leave this particular agenda item. So at this time, Mrs. Tucker, would you please reread the ordinance FHO 02-21 vacant lots? Mrs. Tucker?
Mm.
Okay, let me see. Do you have the vacant lot ordinance in front of you, Mr. Rumi?
I didn't bring that folder home with me, no.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess
You-
I'll have,
You want me to call
Um,
her?
well, I don't know.
She can call it on,
She
she can
could-
call it. She can call it on her phone, hold on.
Yeah,
She,
Okay.
Madam Mayor, yeah, it's either she
Yes.
can do the conference way or she can use her, if someone calls her
uh-huh,
and put their phone on speaker.
okay.
You'll
All
be
right,
able
could
to
you
hear,
do that,
but
Mr. Rumi, and see if
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
doing
get
it
her to
now.
read it? Yes,
have her try to
because
call,
I would like for her to read into the record since she's the town clerk.
have her try to call in first.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm,
Okay, just a minute.
okay.
Mr. Rumi, you're gonna have to mute. Can I ask a
Hmm?
question, Madam Mayor?
You want me to
Yes.
mute?
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask a
Uh-huh.
question, Madam Mayor? Mr.
Yes.
Gray?
Yes. Uh-huh,
1 second.
hello?
No, I was
Yes.
looking to see if she provided a conference call, and I was gonna ask Mr. Gray if there was a number for the Zoom conference, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
conference,
Yeah.
there's a conference line open?
No,
Okay.
But-
So can I ask Mr. Gray a question?
yes, you
Is it-
can.
Okay. Miss
Okay, I
Tucker,
see Miss Tucker in it, so let's admit her.
yeah, I may not have to
Okay.
ask the question if she's okay.
Yes. Council member, you could go on and ask the question now.
Well, it would have been for him to provide an alternate, the Zoom conference
Mhm,
number to give it to her
mhm.
real quick, but it looks like she's coming in.
I think she's in. Are you in, Mrs. Tucker?
Mayor Martin,
Yes.
this is Ms. Walker. If you give me a second, I should be home in a minute. Did you all email the vacant lot? If so, you can move forward with the next agenda item. I'll pull up the vacant lot and I'll read it in. If you
Okay,
give me a second, I should be home soon, but I just need someone to email to me to make sure I have the last version. Ms. Waiters, would you be able to do that for me? Just so I can make sure that I have the correct version?
I'll see if I can pull it up. Okay.
okay.
I should be
All
home
right, so
soon.
here's
Once
what
I'm
I'll
home,
do.
I'll let you know when I'm home, okay?
All right, sounds good. I'll go
All
down to our next agenda item.
Okay.
And our next agenda item is item number 2, which is the Board of Elections training update. I wanted to let everyone know that the Board of Elections, the whole board has been contacted, and we were scheduled to do they were going to have their training and their recertification process done by last week. They were supposed to have done it, and the weather messed the whole schedule up, so I had to reschedule them. So now on the 29th, they're scheduled to be in the building for 3 hours, and it's going to be partial training and partial recertification time. So I need to just verify their time again. They were going to be from 12 to 3. But then one of the members called and said that his job is being shifted to evening hours. So I'm going to have to bump it up from that time until 9 to 12, which will be on the 29th of this month. So expect once they get everything recertified, they'll give us the paperwork again, and then we'll move forward. I'll call a meeting for the mayor and the council. We'll move forward with a new date for the recall. So I just wanted to update everyone on that. But so far, right now, the only thing that's a problem is their timing. They've accepted the date of the 29th of January. I wanted to let everyone know what was happening with that. I'm going to move on down to emergency preparedness. And Mr. Rumi talked somewhat concerning the snow removal and the ice removal and what a wonderful job that Public Works has been doing. Because with our small amount of staff and to cover all of our streets, they have done a tremendous job. There have been no major complaints concerning the streets, the ice, the snow. That has been pretty well covered as far as the whole Public Works Department for all the snow events that we've had. Now, at one time, I think there was some issue with what days the trash should have gone out because some people said they didn't always receive the notice, but that was quickly rectified. And we've been going along doing well with that. We hope to continue because it seems like now once the snow starts, it begins to just trickle down, trickle down. So we're keeping up with them and we're trying to do as much as we can to make sure that everything is being done in that area. Along with that, we purchased a new generator so that when we have issues, when we need a generator, which that has happened to us quite a bit, we have our own generators downstairs in the building now, brand new. We'll be using that from time to time when the occasions arise. So that was wonderful to have that and get it out of the way. We've also got a new snow blower. That's going to be very helpful when it comes to cleaning off the front of the building and other areas where Public Works can be using this equipment, working toward our common goal of keeping everything clean and getting everything up to par as this weather moves in on us. I think most people have also heard too that possibly tonight or tomorrow we might get more bad weather. So we're trying to stay on top of it. And like I said, I want to give them kudos because they've been doing a really good job because we already know they're working at least one hand short, but they're doing good with what they have. And I can appreciate that. So I wanted to say thank you very much to Public Works and just hang on in there. Winter won't last always. It will not. So I had those other two items on the agenda. Mr. Ruma, did you have anything else you wanted to add concerning emergency preparedness, or Councilmember Waiters, did you have anything else to add for emergency preparedness?
Just that we need to start doing some planning, Madam Mayor. I won't elaborate because that's probably a separate meeting within itself, but yeah, I have some things written down that I'll share with the mayor and council at another time.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So now those two items, we've gotten to those two. I'm just waiting now on the vacant lot ordinance.
So,
I
Madam Mayor,
Did you find it, council member?
yes, ma'am, I did. If you okay, so right now for the conference option, Mr. Gray did provide that information. Someone put that in the chat.
Okay.
If we have problems, so I was doing that. In terms of the ordinance, I did find it and I emailed it to everyone, all the council members, including yourself, Ms. Walker, and Mr. Rumi.
Okay.
And to Ms. Tucker. If Ms. Tucker can't pull it up and he gives me sharing rights, I can pull it up so that it can be read by either Ms. Walker or Ms. Tucker if she can get in.
Okay. All right. So at this time, if Mrs. Tucker is on the line, Mrs. Tucker, would you please reply? Okay. I need to get Mrs. Sarumi. Mrs. Sarumi. Mrs. Sarumi or Mrs. Tucker?
Unmute. Okay, I unmute. Okay.
Mrs. Sarumi, would you please read the ordinance?
Oh, okay. Hold on, I gotta pull it up.
Ms. Tucker's in the waiting room.
Okay.
Okay, so Mayor, you don't need me to read it. Mr. Rumi, you're gonna read the ordinance?
No.
All right.
Unfortunately, I'm not, because the only reason I'm not is because I have to come out and go into my email and download it from my email. So if you have it readily available. Mr. Walker, could you help out?
Okay, so Mayor Martin, you got to give me a few minutes to get in the house. Can you go to the next item? As soon as I'm in the door, I'll call you. I'll turn my camera back on as soon as I'm in the door, and I'll be able to read it for you. Okay.
That
Okay,
sounds
good.
great.
Good.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
Madam
thank you
Mayor,
very
when you-
much.
Madam Mayor, when you're ready, or
Uh-huh.
when she's ready, Mr. Gray has
Mhm.
given me rights to share, so I'll get it ready to pull up so that
Uh-huh.
everyone can see what's being read. Now, this is
Good.
the version that I have.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Okay. So thank you very much. I'm going to continue on down because I want to get to the mayor's report, and I wanted to talk a lot about the COVID testing and our availability. We received an opportunity to purchase some COVID testing, and we wanted to do as much as we could to benefit the community at large. So what we did, I got the input from the council members, and we ordered 500 COVID testing units. They will be coming by next week. I'm not sure what day next week, but they will be here. We're gonna organize it so that it's a smooth process as far as giving them out. Right now, what has actually been destined is that there will be one kit per household. Now, we know that the count has basically been 450 homes that are actually occupied within our community. So each household will get one kit. Now, as everyone has been noticing now, the county has made many kits available. I know that there's normally a line, say like at Cedar Heights. They have other areas where you can go and pick up a kit, but they have lines. But these kits that we'll be getting, they're for our citizens in the town of Fairmount Heights. And once we give the word, then we will be able to give out those kits. I see where someone has popped up in the chat saying, go to covidtest.gov to order 4. You can get 4. Now, I've already gone online for that. Now, first of all, what came up was the information saying that my address had already been used. So I don't know how smooth a process that's going to be, but you can always stand to have some extra kits. So even if you go to that .gov or you go to Cedar Heights to try to get some, the libraries were also supposed to have some, but Fairmount Heights Library wasn't on that final list. So, just keep looking around, but at least be ready so that when we have our kits available, that every household here should be able to have a kit. I just wanted to put that out there to let everyone know that we were looking out and thinking that was a good opportunity for us, so we took it. So listen out, they're going to be on their way very soon. Also, something that I wanted to mention was Governor Hogan has announced, and he did it 2 days ago, saying he's going to commit $500 million to refund the police. And he's been talking about this because he said that he wanted to make sure that the police were given their due and that he felt like it was appropriate. Now, this has to go through that whole process of being approved and everything, but he wants to refund the police to the tune of $500 million. This might be a good opportunity for Fairmount Heights to get in on that funding also. So we're going to be investigating it. I'm going to contact the governor's office because normally they'll send us out the emails as this information comes up to our doorstep, but I will be reaching out to them to see what I can find out about that in advance. The next item that I wanted to talk about was the cleaning of our town building and our town vehicles. We already have put in the order. I've given it to the treasurer so that as soon as we can get on the schedule, our town building and our town vehicles will be re-cleaned. They were on the cleaning schedule where we were getting cleaning once a month. But when the pandemic sort of died down a little bit, we didn't get one. I think we might have missed 1 month, but we have daily cleaning by Mr. Tasker, who comes in early in the morning, cleans top to bottom, and he does an excellent job. And everything even smells so fresh and good because he deodorizes also. So it's not like we haven't been cleaning. And plus, we've been making sure that we have plenty of masks out for everybody. We have hand sanitizer. We have the air fresheners for the bathroom. And we have the masks and gloves on the table and the thermometer so that everyone can take their temperature when they come into the building. So we're definitely keeping up with what is needed as far as the pandemic. we know our needs are great, but we're doing the things that we can to make sure that it's safe and that people are able to transact important business with us at the town. I wanted to also talk about the celebration of Black History Month and Women's History Month. Our plans are not finalized, but this year I'm going to throw out the idea to the council also of us doing 2 events, one for Black History Month during the month of February and one for Women's History Month during the month of March. Now, because of the trouble that we ran into by the pandemic really raging the last time we planned the live event, and we had actually obligated ourselves to buy things like the food and getting set up. But luckily, we received the notice that things are going to be cut down and we didn't lose money on that. So this time we're going to go virtual on both of those events. We'll go virtual for our Black History program and we'll go virtual for our Women's History. So I am in the process now of looking for a speaker for Women's History. And what we'll do is build around, because we can't do like we did before where we had the students from the high school and other different participants, but we will make it interesting and we will publicize it so that people can come out and participate with us as we celebrate those special times. So be on the lookout. And another thing that we're going to discuss as soon as we can is concerning how we could use some of our ARP funding to get better signage as far as the large posters, the those lighted elements that give you messages that could be located centrally around the town so that everyone can see our information as they go driving by. So we're in the process of trying to work with that because I don't know what can be used and what can't, but we will soon find out. We will soon find out. That's one of our goals. I talked about the shout out to Public Works for a job well done. Definitely want to give them props again. And number 6 was the request for the free COVID test that you order through the U.S. Postal Service. I don't have that website nearby, but there's the site that people have been sending that out all over, telling you that you can just go on that website and register your name, put in your zip code and your address, and you'll automatically be registered for some COVID kits from there. And like I said earlier, I went online and they said that mine had already been submitted, but I'm going to go back again and try to verify because I think there was a problem with that. But it's just like everything else. It probably was glitches during the time that it first started because I went in on the first day. So I wanted everyone to know, take a look at that also. And let's try to get as much as we can because we never really know when this pandemic is going to simmer down. I heard information yesterday saying that it could possibly, by the next couple of months, go on the lower end to where it was trying to be phased out. But we already know from experience, you can't trust that. You cannot trust that. We'll just have to play a wait and see, take a wait and see attitude. All right, so thank you very much. I think that's all for my report. I think Mrs. Walker is in the house. And Mrs. Walker, are you ready with the for the reading of the ordinance FHO 02-21?
Yes.
Yes, you can proceed.
So you said FHO 02-21. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Town of Fairmount Heights, 2019-2020 legislative session. Ordinance number FHO 02-21, introduced by, co-sponsor. Title, Chapter 11, Article 1, Registration of Vacant Lots. Whereas this ordinance shall be known as registration of vacant lots for the town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland, and whereas all buildable lots located within the town are vacant and without a habitable or commercial structure, and whereas nearly 80% of all vacant lots are not maintained in accordance with current codes or current codes and ordinances, and have attracted dumping and other illegal activities. Chapter 11, Article 1, Registration of Vacant Lots. This section is to be titled Chapter 11, Article 1 of the Fairmount Heights Code as adopted by the town of Fairmount Heights effective and is to be added as Chapter 11, Article 1 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Fairmount Heights. 11-100, definitions. Definitions as used in this section. The following terms shall have the meanings as indicated. Lot, an area of land designated as a separate parcel or unit of land on a legally recorded subdivision plat or deed filed among the land records of Prince George's County and assigned a property tax account identification number. Owner, the person, persons, or entity shown to be the owner or owners on record with Prince George's County Department of Taxation, those identified as the owner or owners on a vacant lot registration form, a mortgage in possession, a mortgager in possession, assignee of rents, receiver, executor, trustee, lessee, other person, firm, or corporation in control of the premises. Any such person will have joint and several obligations for compliance with provisions of this ordinance. Vacant lot, a platted or unplatted parcel of land without a habitable or commercial structure which has an assessed value for taxation purposes as determined by the State of Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation. 11-101, vacant lot registration. 1, owner or purchaser of each vacant lot must register with the Town of Fairmount Heights Office of Code Enforcement no later than 30 days after acquiring a vacant lot. Notices may be served to or sent via first-class mail to the owner and will be deemed received by the owner upon personal delivery or after 5 days via delivery by first-class mail. 2, the registration must be submitted on forms from the Office of Code Enforcement for the Town of Fairmount Heights. The following information must be included. A description of the vacant lot by street address, property identification number, and any other information in order to accurately identify the vacant lot. B, the name, address, which shall not be a post office box, and telephone numbers of the property owners of record. If the owner is a corporation, limited liability partnership, limited partnership, or other such entity, the name, address, and telephone number of the resident agent. If the owner is an entity not having a resident agent, the name, address, and telephone number of all partners, owners, or officers of the owner or the owner's authorized agent. C, the address, which shall not be a post office box, and a telephone number of the owner's authorized agent if an agent has been designated by the owner. D, the name and owner's authorized property management agent if an agent has designated by the owner. 3, the Office of Code Enforcement shall be notified within 14 days of any change of any information contained within the form. 11-102, vacant lot registration and registration fees. Wait a minute, Ms. Riggs, I can't see the other part. Okay, 11-102, vacant lot registration fees. The fee to register a vacant lot shall be $250. The registration fee will be prorated if the registration is less than 6 months from the next biannual renewal date. 2, biannual renewal fee of $250 will be due February 1st and August 1st. The fee will be prorated by month if a property changes ownership thereafter. 3, registration fees may be revised by the mayor and council from time to time. 4, vacant lots not registered within the town as required by this section for more than 180 days after the owner having been duly notified by the town shall be in violation and subject to the penalties as prescribed in section 105. 5. Non-buildable lots will not be assessed a registration fee. However, the owner will be fined if the lot is not maintained according to the town codes and or ordinances. 11-103, exception to vacant lot registration. No registration is required if A, the vacant lot is zoned residential and the owner occupies a residence on a lot contiguous to the vacant lot. B, the vacant lot is contiguous to a lot with an occupied building and both lots are under common ownership. Or 11-104, other enforcement. The registration of a vacant lot or absence thereof shall not preclude any action by the town to force abatement, maintenance, or removal of a public nuisance or other violations found on any vacant lot pursuant to any other provisions of this ordinance, code, or other laws. The town shall have the right to remove litter, noxious weeds, tall grass, unsanitary or flammable waste materials, and to do such maintenance as is necessary to bring the property in compliance with this ordinance. The cost of these actions shall be paid by the owner. The town shall send the owner a bill for the cost of such work by certified mail, return receipt requested, and by regular mail to the owner's last known address, or by any other means reasonably calculated to bring the bill to the owner's attention. Should the owner fail to pay the bill within 30 days after it is presented or mailed, the cost shall be considered a lien against the property and may be collected in the same manner. 11-105, violation and penalties. Violations of this ordinance shall be deemed a municipal violation. The fine for the first offense shall be $500. The fine for the second offense occurring 180 days after the date of the first shall be $1,000. Registration and late fees shall accrue. The town of Fairmount Heights reserves the right to place a lien against the deed to the property to recover any and all expenses, fees, and fines incurred. Be it ordained by the mayor and council of the town of Fairmount Heights that this ordinance shall be adopted by the mayor and council in accordance with the charter of the town of Fairmount Heights and applicable Maryland state laws. Therefore, the first reading shall be on Wednesday, July 17, 2019. The second reading shall be on Wednesday, August 14, 2019. And the third and final reading shall be on Wednesday, September 18, 2019. Be it further ordained by the mayor and council of the town of Fairmount Heights that the town clerk shall certify to the adoption of this ordinance and cause the same to the extent permitted by section 1-12 of the charter of the town of Fairmount Heights. A fair summary of the same be published as required by law, and this ordinance shall become effective at the expiration of 20 days following approval by the mayor and the town council. The mayor and the town council.
All
That
right.
concludes the reading.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Walker, for the
You're
reading
welcome.
of that ordinance.
You're welcome.
FHO 02-21. Council members, is everyone on board? All council members, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. At this time, I will accept the motion for approval of ordinance number FHO 02-21.
So
I will
moved,
accept.
Madam Mayor, with the correction.
Uh-huh.
Correction only for the date that I noticed, and should be understood that this was the copy that I received, and I'm sure the corrections have been made.
Yes.
So the date, the final date was
Mhm.
today.
Okay. All right. So that would be the 19th of January, the year 2022.
Yes, ma'am. So moved.
Yes. Can I get a second on that motion?
Second.
May I get a second on the motion?
Second.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Morris. It's been properly moved and seconded that ordinance FHO 02-21 be approved with corrections. Are there any questions on the motion?
Do you want me to
Is
call the
there-
roll for you?
Yes. Would you please, Ms. Walker? Mrs.
Yes,
Walker,
ma'am.
would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Waiters,
Aye.
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan,
Aye.
Councilmember Akindu Uwaka,
Aye.
and Councilmember Wood Dotson.
She's
I wasn't sure if she
absent.
can. Okay, all right.
Okay.
And I believe that's it, Mayor Martin.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Was there a question?
Mayor, did you all hear him?
I heard you,
Okay,
and I heard Councilmember, is Councilmember Uck still there?
yes,
Yeah.
trying to unmute her phone. Say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. The ayes have it. And so that motion passes. Any nays? Any abstention? Thank you all very much. That motion passes.
Mayor Martin,
And yes,
excuse me, can I be excused, please?
yes.
I
Thank you
got
very
some work-
much for
I
your
got some
help.
work to get done. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you I
right.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you all very much. We appreciate getting that out of the way. We're going to move down now to council member reports, and I'm going to start off with, I'll go according to the list, the participant list. Council member, I think Councilmember Waiters, I see your name first.
Okay, I'll try not to prolong it. So a lot of what economic development does comes out in Ms. Rumi's report. So I'll try not to repeat what duplicates itself unless I need to expound. We meet on the third Thursday of each month, and I will put the link in the chat for anyone that's interested in attending the meeting. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Our meeting is tomorrow. That's a planning meeting for our stakeholders meeting. At a high level focus for economic development is the 4.4 acres. I do have our meeting minutes before me. I will send that over to the council, but we were focusing on the 4.4 acres, particularly securing it, and the Main Street. We talked about annexation, research for stovepipe annexation, which is Sheriff and Addison Roads and down Sheriff Road. We talked about sharing information or getting information for external stakeholders to attend our meeting. For these meetings and the planning that we have, it's very important that public safety and public works be included in the information as we move forward. That it's information for security and or different public works requirement may grow with expansion or improvements in the community. What else do I have? We had code enforcement, but you'll see that in the report because Mr. Pinckney is not here, but it references the street survey, and we talked about street humps already in the meeting. So we have a survey there for that. That came out in our discussion. We talked about zoning, buildable lots, unbuildable lots, tiny houses, for example, auxiliary homes, And again, our meeting is on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I'll share more information then. And our stakeholders meeting is planned for the 22nd of January from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. We intend to do community outreach in the form of registration, flyers, sign-in sheet, and it will be, we are offering Zoom alternatively. When we thought we were going to be in the building, we had intended on offering both opportunity to be in the building as well as Zoom. So now it looks like it'll be strictly Zoom unless something else changes. We'll be Zoom and we'll provide that information. And that is it for the economic development. One or two more things. Ms. Swimmy mentioned the newsletter. I'm finalizing that. The Neon Glow Party, a short summation on that was it was successful. We had, I think, a comfortable amount of youth that attended the event. It was very nice. We had concerns about cancellation because of the COVID and the numbers going up. However, we had a comfortable number that attended that was manageable. We did put safety, we used safety precautions by putting sanitizer, the same way we would do if someone came in, individuals signed in. So it's very comfortable, no more than 10 to 15 people there. We didn't want to cancel, my last statement to make, we didn't want to cancel it because we wanted to move forward even if no one came, to share with the community that we are doing things to programmatically to get the community involved. So in that effort, we had a good amount of people. It was successful, and we'll be planning our next event. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. I wanted to add on to that is that the decoration that was done, I don't know, I'm quite sure you did it. It was absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
It was just something out of a company that might have come in and did that decorating. It was beautiful.
Yes,
so, you know, that's such a great beginning because that itself will begin to attract people. The next time when it's done, people will say, well, I need to go down and take a look, especially as the weather begins to warm up, and we're hoping that this whole pandemic just subsides. But that decoration was absolutely fabulous. And with the light, the effects of the lights and the floor decorations and all around the building, it really made it look like all together different area.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you guys for everybody that helped. Everyone that helped. It was, okay. I think, like I said, I will be looking forward to do the next one.
Yes. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Councilmember Morris? Councilmember Morris, you still with us?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have anything to report tonight, but I have been working with the local, county, and state officials with the PPE, with the test kits and the mask and everything else. So I'll have something to report next time.
Okay. Thank you. Council member, is there a possibility that you could check, you know, with the people that you always talk to, maybe at the county levels, a little bit more concerning those masks that I know there are going to be some masks available. They haven't sent me anything directly as far as the email. I want to hunt around and try to see if we can get any masks that we can get our hands on, because really we're going to have to purchase more. And I would like to see if there are any available through the county or through the state.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to ask Councilmember Morris if he could just check around for us and see, put the finger or give me a number where I can begin to check more so into the mask. We're going to purchase some because Public Works is saying that they need more. So I want to try to get my hands on some before they start running real low. Right now, you know, everybody's talking about the N95s and getting the other style of masks. But, you know, I'll let you piggyback on as soon as Councilmember Morris, as soon as he answers me.
Yes, so the KN95s are available. The N95s are all drying up because the federal government is buying up anything on the ground in the United States at this moment, along with the test kits as well. So they're giving them away through their PPE money that they got. And all the local and state officials are buying them up for their respective communities with the money they got. The
Mhm.
problem right now is the federal government is on this big push, and they're giving the test kits away. But like us, they're not going to have enough to give to everybody to have any amount to keep
Mhm.
on hand. So by us giving out away the ones that we're giving away, you can also get the free ones from the federal government. The state and the county are going to continue to give them away. And it's just like the masks were at one time, the mask and the gloves when the pandemic first started were in so much demand that the federal government purchased everything and then delegated who got it and when. That system always does not work. So right now, the KN95 masks are readily available. They're in the ports of Los Angeles and Florida, and some of them off of the tip of New Jersey. So usually wherever the ship is coming from China lands in the United States, that's where everybody's buying them from and having them trucked down. So if you want KN95s, I can put you in touch with the people to, to buy them from.
Okay. Well, if you could possibly forward that information, anything that you have to my attention, please do.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Councilmember Waiters, did you have something in addition to that?
Just to add to what Councilmember Martha said, we talked about, and this goes back to emergency management per se in terms of staffing. We had talked about working on logistics for entering and accessing the building and staffing and priorities for testing. So we're talking about provision, and we kind of added that we were talking about provisioning for the community, but then how we were going to work that out for the staff. So two separate but same issues, and we talked about that, and I did not mention it. So I'm kind of sort of adding to what we've already talked about. The test kits were one, but then the staffing was another equation to that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we're going to continue on down. Councilmember Morgan.
All right. Good afternoon, citizens. To piggyback on that emergency pandemic and everything that's going on, I've been researching some literature, and they have what you call a personal pandemic leave. And what I'll do, Mayor, is maybe next month at our work session, I'll bring the information that I've researched. What it is to help provide relief for the employees who must isolate due to a positive COVID-19 test. So I do have the literature on it, so we can all talk about that also to put in our personnel management that Mr. Rumi was talking about. That's a plus. And for any of our townhouse citizens that are on the line, if there are any, one of our mailboxes are down. A few of the citizens did call me, not that I thought I had anything to do with it, but I did call the post office, and they were supposed to send somebody out today or tomorrow to look at it, because what they were telling me was that our association was supposed to handle that cost. But like I explained to them that we had no association, so they agreed to go ahead and look at it for us and take care of that for us. So that's a plus.
Okay.
Also, that website, Mayor, was covidtest.gov
Okay.
for the test kits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for me. Oh, and we are expecting snow tomorrow or tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll re-up Mayor on what, number 3?
I guess so. I guess so. Okay.
So I guess we'll fluctuate for trash, depending on how much snow we get
Yeah.
for Friday.
Okay.
So just want the citizens to know, just try to package your trash up as much as you can. Some of our citizens didn't do a good job last time. We had that big snow,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully it gets better and better as we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a learning process.
It is. It is.
For me.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Councilmember. But when you look at it, basically, we got a few calls here and there, but everything was handled. It was handled well. It was handled
Definitely.
well. Mhm.
Definitely.
And especially with other communities and especially those that have to wait on the county, you know, it makes you grateful that you live in a community like this where you're going to get a very fast response. Basically, we might hit or miss from time to time, but basically you're going to get a good response from it.
And some of our
So-
employees in the housing authority, they are essential. They couldn't get out some of their streets. But we could
Oh,
get out all
yeah.
our streets over here. So Maxim
Mhm.
did a wonderful job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
That's it for me.
Okay. Thank you very much. Councilmember Akindu-Waka?
I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Again, as everyone knows, we have started the advertising for the chief of police. I was given the pleasure of attending the Omega Psi Phi Black Men's Voices on community policing. I did obtain a lot of information that I would like to present to the mayor and council. Hopefully, Saturday when we have our ARP meeting. Can you hear me again? Okay, again, it was held by Congresswoman Frederica Wilson.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of the things that they're doing would be a great help to us. And again, I look forward to presenting the information to the mayor and council during our ARP meeting, because some of the things will incur funds and monies. And also, I will be holding a public safety meeting to present that information as well. On the last work day of this month, I will be issuing emails for Pacific time. And that concludes my report.
All right. Okay, council member. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for your reports. Appreciate all of those. And did Mrs. Tucker ever get in to make sure she was recording? Because I have notes that I'm taking also. So,
The
are you
meeting,
on, Mrs. Tucker, are you on?
I don't see her, Madam Mayor, but I think the meeting is
Okay.
being recorded.
Okay, yeah, well, I have notes too, so we could use both of those sources to
Yeah.
get our minutes. Okay. All right, thank you all very much for your reports. At this time, I'm going to move down to public participation. And if there's anyone here that's with us that would like to participate, if you all would please sort of go in succession, because I can't really tell. I only see Mrs. Clark and Mrs. Capers. It could be other people on the line. So if you would like to have something to say at this time, you can begin to go in succession.
Might I ask Ms. Clark to go first?
That would be fine.
Oh, okay, thank you. What I wanted to ask Mayor Martin is, you stated that the town will be giving away COVID kits for the citizens. How are you going to differentiate if the citizens show their ID, whereas some citizens have Capitol Heights on their driver's license and some citizens have Fairmount Heights?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It pays to know your community, because, you know, you can look right. I'm saying that I'm familiar with it because you already know, like the 5500 block of Addison Road or whatever, certain parameters don't even include Fairmount Heights. So it's going to have to be the people who are familiar with our community. You got to know what you're doing, because you could accidentally do that, you know, because of the fact that we've been dealing with this for a long time, where, you know, we've had to deal with this whole Capitol Heights issue. And every time you plug in your address, most of the time Capitol Heights pops up because of the post office. So you really have to be aware of what you're doing and know your community before you just give it to somebody that shouldn't receive it. So that's the only thing we can really do.
But will the mayor and council be passing them out? Will Public Works be passing them out? Are they gonna be checking IDs?
Yes, it's not gonna be Public Works because see, Public Works, who knows, they might be involved in getting the streets all cleaned out or some other activities or getting the trash up. And I think it's got to be somebody that's dedicated, that's really gonna be aware of the addresses and checking that to make sure they don't fall into the wrong hands.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be programmed.
Okay, Ms. Capers, I'm done.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to make, to say or ask the council, mayor and council, there was a request for the Fairmount Heights Community Development Corporation that we did put in an MOU. In the MOU, it did ask for specific things. I know that you've had some discussion about it, but I would like for you to table it because I've rented property in Prince George's County, and I do know that when I rented property to others, I had to have the property inspected, and it had to pass certain criteria in order for me to rent the space. And so I'm thinking that you guys are nowhere near that because you don't have sprinkler systems in the basement. You don't have a lot. So I want to table our request for whatever we were asking for until you can comply. And then we can kind of say, if whatever, and the other is, I would also like for you to, if there are things that you want to know about the Fairmount Heights Community Development Corporation, you may ask. All of the paperwork I have is not only publicly listed, but you can ask me if it's something that you don't see publicly.
Okay.
Okay? I just want to say that. Okay? And I thank you very much for listening.
Yes, and thank you very much for asking. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Capers and Mrs. Clark. Are there other citizens online that would like to come in on the public participation part? Anyone else like to come on? All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Barnhart has his hand raised.
Okay, Mr. Barnhart.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right. I have two things I would like to address tonight while we're in this meeting. One would be the meeting that you guys were supposed to have as far as the ARP money. The mayor, you said that you guys are going to have someone that's going to come in, a consultant, and will come in and help you guys. Have you guys, as of yet, found that consultant to help you guys allocate that money?
Okay. You want me to answer now? You want to wait until I can answer you now. Okay, we haven't found the consultant because the consultant, the plan for that, it went over to the treasurer, and so she had to do an RFP for the consultant. I will have her to answer. I think she's already gone off of the line now, but we were waiting on that RFP for that consultant because that was what we were going to use as far as getting all of our items outlined and planned so we would know just what we could use the money for and what we couldn't. And I wanted to say, I didn't mention that in my report, we had scheduled, one of our meetings was January the 8th, and then, that one fell through because of weather and other issues with COVID. We had scheduled for the 22nd. And because of the fact that we couldn't iron all the kinks out of that, it had to do with the Board of Elections because we wanted to be able to open up and put them in one area of the building and we go down the lower level. Well, so now we're looking at the 29th. I have to get the whole council on board to see whether they're available, and hopefully I'll be able to get the word as far as the consultant coming on that day, because we need to have a consultant in with us working, because all of these items that we're going to mention, we know most of the things that you can use the funding for, but we need the experience of a somebody there that's a specialist that can tell us yay, nay, and how we can move forward with it. So that is my final item of what I'm actually waiting for. I want to do it on the 29th. That's my D-Day that I want to get it done. So I'm working on getting that accomplished.
Okay. My next thing will be, and thank you for answering that question, Mayor Martin. I appreciate that. My next question would be is the ethics board. The Citizen Association had reached out to the ethics board last week about Councilwoman Upper Walker. And they usually, well, not usually, they say that they will respond back within 72 hours. We haven't heard anything from them. I'm just wondering if it's something that the town can do about getting in contact with them, because I want to just make sure that I'm not doing anything out of line as far as making a personal phone call or anything like that. I want to make sure that this is done in a mediation kind of way if possible, because we really need to sit down and talk with them about that issue.
Okay, so I did reach out and I got in touch with one person. I still have one more to contact, and I have one of the board members that was supposed to have some surgery. So I'm going to reach back out to him again. I could possibly do that tomorrow because, you know, I can always just either text him or call him and find out how he's coming and what to the point, because I had left the whole concept saying that I wanted him to contact the other two so they could get together. And I mentioned that they needed to go to their website and read the information, whatever was up there for them. So did you send that letter to them also, Mr. Barnhart, or did you only send it to us?
Oh, no, I send it to everybody.
Okay.
I send it to everybody.
All right, so I'm checking again to find out whether I can get in touch with the third member. And hopefully we can. And like I said, see, here's what I want to explain this. Right now, we're having so many people. I'm having a really hard time as far as keeping the ethics board together, as far as keeping the elections board together. People are just, it's so many things changing. People got COVID, you know, and then later, then they come back and they say, well, I don't think I can do this anymore. So, okay, then you got another vacancy you got to try to fill. So it's just really juggling, trying to keep this all together. But I'm doing all that I can because I know how important it is and we need them on board. So I don't want them to feel discouraged, to think that, you know, they're just doing it just to be doing it, because this is what you call town service. And it's so important. So as soon as I can get in touch with that third member, like I said, he was supposed to have surgery. He's okay. I'm gonna try to see if I can get them to come together maybe this weekend. I'm not really sure what date because I'm not on their committee. I was just gonna throw a suggestion out.
Okay.
And I did leave a message for them to check their website.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that as well. My last thing, I know I only had two. Mr. Pinckney, in his report, he stated that the address at 729 60th Place was having some repairs done. I'm not sure if Mr. Pinckney visited that site or not, but I have. They was doing a total remodel in that house. They tore all the walls out. They had went down to the basement and got all the water out of there and removed mold and all kind of things in that house. So I don't know what kind of inspection he did or what kind of visit he made to it and that, but it wasn't just repairs done to that house. That was a total remodel.
Okay. All right. So 729 60th. It was 729
60th Place. Yes, ma'am.
60th. I will also bring that to his attention. Okay. I have it here. I'm making a note. I'm making a note of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
For it to be.
Okay. So I think I recorded all of your information, Mr. Barnhart. I have Ms. Capers' information, and I have one other item here. Well, I answered the information from Ms. Clark about the COVID kit. Okay. So I think I have everyone. Was anyone else on the line that had information or something for the good of the organization? Okay. All right, I think that just about covered the majority of what we were trying to accomplish this evening. I want to thank everyone for attending tonight, and I think we're going to try to see if we can do more, maybe putting some of our meetings into Zoom, or at least until the pandemic completely dies down. I think it might be a good idea, because we don't want to have too many people in and out if we can help it. And we don't want to expose people to anything that's going to make them ill. Plus, the way the temperatures have been fluctuating, we don't want to have it set so that people are looking to come to the building and when they could really just be online and do it. So we'll see what works best and we will take it from there. But in the whole spirit of unity, I would say to you all, thank you for coming. And at this time, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
Mayor Martin,
Uh-huh.
I neglected to do one thing. If you would just give me a moment before we adjourn.
Uh-huh.
I received a lot of the surveys back.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank those who still filled them out, and for the comments of encouragement to me. Again, I greatly appreciate and thank you for returning those. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Council Member. All right. If there's nothing else for the good of the organization at this particular time, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So move.
I get a second on that?
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Aye. Thank you very much. The ayes have it. Want to thank everyone for your participation this evening and for your time. May God bless our community. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.